Hello students and welcome back to the class of Illumination Engineering. In our previous class, in our previous video, we have studied about the basics of illumination. What does actually illumination mean? How it is different from light? What are the basic terms terminology that we use in illumination engineering and some basic laws of illumination. Right. In this video, we are going to study about different types of lamps. Now, the question may arise why we are in need of different types of lamps. Suppose we are in need of designing our room and also we are in need of designing a stadium. Definitely the lighting procedure, the uses of lamp, the methods of lamp that we need to set will be different from each other. That will be different from a room, than a workshop, than a stadium, than a music theater, etc. And so we need to study about different types of lamp, different types of lighting scheme that we are going to apply according to our needs, and that we will cover in this video. So be with me, and if you like this video, please like the link and subscribe my channel. And if you have any doubt, any question regarding this video, you can share that in the comment section. So first let us start and have this slides. So the course outcome, the thing we are going to learn after completion of this particular one, it will help to calculate illumination level for a given application and then select the suitable specification for installation. So we need to know the suitable terms, the suitable specification that we are going to, when we are going to install any lamp according to our need. The specification and installation, but the calculation process, the calculation of illumination, that we have already learned in our previous video according to the laws of illumination. And yes, if any of you have missed the video, I will share the link of the previous video in the comment section, in the description box of this video. Okay, so first go through that one, because that is the basics of illumination, and then cover this one. So before we study about different types of lamp, we need to study about different types of lighting scheme. Again, the question arises that whether the lighting scheme for a room, for a house, for a garden, for a theater, for a desk, for a workshop, school, industry, whether these are all same, the answer is no. There are different lighting schemes according to the needs of a human being. Needs of what? Needs of luminous flux. In terms of illumination engineering, the amount of luminous flux that we need in our working place will differentiate among the lighting scheme. So based on that, there may be 5 types of lighting scheme: direct, indirect, semi-direct, semi-indirect, and general lighting scheme. Okay. Now, let me tell you from your exam point of view, this total is a question. The next part, I will cover the different types of lighting scheme in detail. This total will be a question of 7 to 8 marks that explain different lighting schemes. So first you have to tell what are the different types of lighting scheme, and then you have to describe different lighting scheme. So the 5 types of lighting scheme are direct, indirect, semi-direct, semi-indirect, and general. Here in this figure, you can see the types, and you can have an idea of the 5 types of lighting scheme. See, in direct lighting scheme, the most of the luminous flux gets fall on the area, working area. The most of the luminous flux gets emitted from the lamp and it falls on the area. But in indirect lighting scheme, what is happening? Just opposite. The maximum amount of luminous flux is used to reflect the ceiling. Semi-direct, it's almost half, same one, semi-indirect. And general lighting scheme, it's a diffuse lighting scheme that we will study in like in flood lighting, in street lighting. We will study that in general lightings. So these are the details. Okay. Indirect lighting. In this system, almost 90 to 95% light falls directly on the object or the surface. Here light means we are meaning that luminous flux. The light is made to fall upon the surface with the help of deep reflectors. Such type of lighting scheme is most used in industries and commercial lighting. Although this scheme is most efficient, but it's liable to cause glare and shadows. What is glare and what is shadow, that I have described in the last video. Okay? So these are direct lighting scheme where most of the luminous flux is getting on the working area. These are mainly used for industrial and commercial use, but since a maximum amount of light is getting on the working area, this may cause glare or shadow. Semi-direct lighting scheme. This is also an efficient system of lighting and chances of glare are also reduced. Here, transparent types of shades are used through which about 60% light is directed downward and 40% is directed upward. That means what? 60% of luminous flux total energy is falling on the ground, falling on the working plane, and 40% is reflecting the ceiling. This also provides a uniform distribution of light and is best suited for room with high ceiling. This is the main application. This is the main thing we need to know where we are using semi-direct lighting. So whenever there is a room with high ceiling, we can go for semi-direct lighting. Semi-indirect lighting, in this system, about 60 to 90% of total light is thrown upward to the ceiling for diffused reflection and the rest reaches the working plane directly. A very small amount of light is absorbed by the bowl. It's mainly used for interior decoration. And indirect lighting, lighting in which the light emitted by a source is diffusely reflected. It may also come from a lamp with an opaque shade open only at the top. Light is then thrown against the ceiling or washes against the wall and is reflected back into the room. It's softer than direct lighting but often more costly in both installation and operation. So we don't go for indirect lighting generally. If we are planning for decoration, we go for semi-indirect lighting, and if we are planning for industrial purpose, we go for the direct lighting, and if we are planning for high ceiling room or mainly domestic purposes, we go for semi-direct lighting. Now general lighting. Flood. Under general lighting, there are two types of lighting. One is flood lighting and another is street lighting. Now from the figure shown here, you can see that flood lighting means the lighting that we can see in railway yards, in sports stadium, in car parking area, construction site. These are all comes under flood lighting. Flood lighting covers wide range surface with broad angle of projection. Now, what is the purpose of flood lighting? For enhancing beauty of building at night, such as public places, ancient buildings and monuments, religious buildings on important festive occasions. Industrial or commercial flood lighting for illuminating railway yards, sports stadium, car parking, that I've already told you, construction sites, quarries, etc. And for advertising, we can see a big hoarding, right, beside the roads, beside the highways. So these are all application of flood lighting. Now, what are the types of lamp that we are going to use for flood lighting? These are sodium vapor lamp, halogen, high intensity discharge lamp, incandescent lamp, and fluorescent lamp. Okay, so these are the 5 types of lamp that we can use for flood lighting according to our requirements, according to the design methods required, according to the lighting required. So these are the 5 types of lamp. So let us have a look what are the technology used, or what are the advantages or disadvantages behind these lamps. Sodium vapor lamp. Now, sodium vapor, what is sodium vapor? It's used in low pressure sodium lights. This vapor glows when exposed to an electric current. What are the advantages? These are the most energy efficient and lowest in maintenance cost of the 5 floodlight types mentioned here. Comparing light color, here you can find that the color produced by sodium vapor lamp is yellowish. Some people consider this color unnatural. This technology also takes longer to produce light after you turn the fixture on. Sodium vapor lights typically do not work effectively in security system where an alarm activates the floodlight. These lights are mainly shown in stadium, in uh, commercial area. There we can use sodium vapor lamp because the most advantageous part of sodium vapor lamp is its low cost, and low cost in terms of maintenance and energy efficiency. Halogen lamp. Those who play badminton in the season of winter, they are acquainted with halogen lamp, right? So halogen lamp, what is the technology? In this light, electricity activates the halogen gas and tungsten in the quartz halogen bulb. Advantage: some people consider the white light to be superior. This produces a white kind of light, whereas sodium vapor produces a yellow kind of light. So some of us prefer white kind of light. Disadvantage: it has a tendency to heat up more than their rivals and are less efficient than sodium or high intensity discharge light. That is why halogen lamp is preferred in the winter season, because it produces more heat. But in terms of cost, that is a disadvantage. High intensity discharge lamp. These lights employ an internal ballast inside the bulb. An electric arc, when created, glows and produces light which radiates out from the bulb. What are the advantages? These are offering longest life and highest efficiency. They are rated by energy savers as being 75% to 90% more efficient than incandescent floodlights. But what are the disadvantages? If warm-up type is an important factor, then it should take time into account that after being turned on, high intensity discharge light takes longer to produce full lighting. For this reason, they usually will not work adequately with motion detector. This is a particular disadvantage that high intensity light discharge lamp has, that it takes more time to charge up. It takes more time to glow fully. Incandescent lamp, an element inside the bulb is placed in a vacuum and heated by an electric current. Advantage: the initial cost of incandescent floodlights is lower, and disadvantage: they have a shorter life. Last one, fluorescent. Some of these lights contain mercury gas and a phosphorescent coating on the inside surface of the bulb. When an electric current passes through this coating, the bulb begins to glow. Advantage: fluorescent floodlights last longer than incandescent bulb, but disadvantage: it comes with a higher initial cost. Okay, so these are the 5 types of lamp: sodium vapor lamp, um, halogen type lamp, high intensity discharge lamp, incandescent lamp, and fluorescent lamp that we can use for floodlighting. Now come to semester point of view. Floodlighting can itself come as a question. Beside that, these particular lamps like sodium vapor lamp, um, sodium vapor lamp, halogen lamp, fluorescent lamp, these may also come as a short note. Okay, so this type of question can cover from this portion. And the first thing, direct lighting scheme, that is a total question that may come on for 15 marks. That's describe different types of lighting scheme, or 7 to 8 marks. Okay. Next, it is street lighting. Now, what are the objective of street lighting? It's very easy to make the traffic and obstruction on the road clearly visible in order to promote safety and convenience, to make the street more attractive, to increase the community value of the street. Now, what are the principles of street lighting that we need to keep in our mind before we plan for lighting? These are the diffusion principle and specular reflection principle. Now, what is this principle? What is actually diffusion principle? What is specular reflection principle? Let us know. And before that, I believe that the objectives of street lighting are clear to you. That first and foremost, we need to make the traffic and obstruction on the road clearly visible. The second part, yes, in metro cities, we can see that streets are becoming more and more attractive, and that is the result of street lighting and the community value of the street, of course. So, diffusion principle. In this case, the lamps fitted with suitable reflectors are used. The reflectors are so designed that they may direct the light downward and spread as uniformly as possible over the road surface. In order to avoid glare, the reflectors are made to have a cutoff of between 30° to 45° so that filament is not visible except from underneath it. The diffusing nature of the road surface causes the reflection of a certain proportion of the incident light in the direction of the observer, and therefore the road surface appears bright to the observer. The illumination at any point on the road surface is calculated by applying point-to-point or inverse square law method. Over certain proportion of the road, the surface is illuminated from two lamps, and the resultant illumination is the sum of the illumination due to each lamp. So this is diffusion principle. Now specular reflection, very important. In this case, the reflectors are curved upward so that the light is thrown on the road at a very large angle of incidence. It is observed that a motorist requires to see the object about 30 meters away. In the figure, we can see the observer is shown about 30 meters from the object. Much of the light from the lamp 3 is not reflected towards the observer, whereas most of the light from lamp 1 and lamp 2 is reflected towards him. Thus, the object will appear silhouetted against the bright road surface due to the lamp at a longer distance. The requirement of a pedestrian who requires to see objects in his immediate neighborhood is also fulfilled in this method, as some light from lamp falls directly downwards. This method of street lighting is only suitable for straight section of road. Is very important. This method is more economical and also as compared to diffusion method of lighting, but it suffers from the disadvantage that it produces glare for the motorist. But in most of the cases in India, specular reflection principle is being maintained. Now the types of lamp we can use for street lighting, these are mercury vapor and sodium discharge lamp have been found to have certain particular advantage for street lighting purpose. The most important of these is the low power consumption for a given amount of light, which in spite of the higher cost of the lamps makes the overall cost of an installation with discharge lamp less than that employing filament lamp. Now the color and monochromatic nature of the light produced by the discharge lamp do not matter much in street lighting installation. So students, these are all about types of lamp. Here you have studied about different lighting scheme, the different types of requirement according to which we need to design, the different types of lamp according to the requirement, the different types of technology used behind different types of lamp, their advantages and disadvantages. So from this whole video, you can have a total question of 15 marks, right? So you can have a total full question of 15 marks from this total video. So go through this video more than once, make the point so that you can remember each and every particulars. And after that, if you find any difficulties, you can ask me in the comment section. So thank you for watching this video.